I had a nightmare that I failed at school. Actually, that happened 10 years ago. To give you a backstory, growing up in Egypt, the education system, to put it mildly, wasn't ideal. My old school felt more like a pressure cooker than a place of learning, forcing private lessons, teachers pushing their own agendas. It felt corrupt, and honestly, it made me feel like a complete failure. Yes, I wasn't the smartest kid, but I used to fail more than average. Things got worse when I actually failed science. Yeah, talk about crazy system. One bad grade and you are out. I want you to think about a 15-year-old kid who's telling directly on his face that you need to find another place because basically you're not enough. You don't have the enough ability to continue here. And that was coming from the principal office. After that, finding a new school was a nightmare. Every place I applied to rejected me because of that failed class. It was incredibly disheartening. Feeling trapped in the high-pressure school system that I was in, I was desperately craved a different approach of learning. Then one day, while I was scrolling through my iPad, something happened. I saw an ad from the British Council that instantly grabbed my attention. The tagline was, "It changed your life." Let's just say that was exactly what I needed at the time because I was desperately need any change. For the first time, I had a teacher who made me feel valued, not judged. They focused on my strength, encouraged my progress, and created a supportive learning environment. It was a complete shift from the pressure, the atmosphere that at my old school. In these classes, I learned a valuable grammar and vocabulary, foundations of course, but most importantly, the teachers boosted my confidence in speaking English. They encouraged participation and corrected my mistakes gently and made my learning process fun and engaging. The positive experience boosted my motivation to learn even more. Feeling more empowered and equipped with some basic English skills, I craved a way to immerse myself in the language further. That's when I remember my fascination with Casey Neistat vlogs. Back then, I was absolutely hooked on Casey Neistat vlogs. His infectious energy and attitude were inspiring. I was curious about life in the US. It was a complete contrast from life here in Egypt. But the language barrier felt like a giant wall that I can't pass. However, thanks to the British Council course, now had the foundation to build on. With the newfound confidence, I decided to give Casey Neistat's vlogs a try. At first, subtitles was on, of course. This allowed me to grasp the overall of the conversation and understand the basic vocabulary that Casey was using. The course at the British Council had equipped me with some of the grammar knowledge so I could connect with the subtitles to the spoken words and actively pause the videos to look up for unfamiliar words and take notes. And honestly, that was the normal for me back then. After a few weeks of feeling comfortable with subtitles, I decided to take the training wheels off. Watching the vlogs without subtitles was definitely a challenge at first. There were moments of frustration where the rapid pace and the slang made it very difficult to understand everything. I would say that this is the time that would differ between someone who would be able to understand English, generally speaking, and someone who would have problems in the long run. I know at the beginning it's going to be hard to not use subtitles at all, but trust me, on the long run you will get used to it. It's just time that will heal everything up. While I was just watching a back then Casey Neistat vlogs, that was great starting point, but I know that I had to diversify my learning. Here's another thing that you can do is to expose yourself to different accents and speaking styles. So I branched out, so I started watching funny YouTube videos to improve my listening and comprehension, of course, for grammar and vocabulary building. I turned to reading books and articles, topics that interest me. That was a great way to learn words in context. It felt more engaging than the traditional textbook style. Remember that you need to have a very wide range of vocab and grammar because the more you interact with the language, the better it gets by time. Books and articles, I would say, is complete essential that you would need to improve your English. Without them, you would feel frustrated all the time and you're not gonna improve by time because language is not only about listening, it's also about reading and writing. So you need to improve in those while at the same time you improve your listening and speaking. It definitely took me time and dedication. There was moments that I felt frustrated and I feel like I wasn't making any progress. But slowly I started to notice the difference. I could understand videos right now without needing subtitles and my vocabulary had expanded immersively. I even felt comfortable speaking English more confidently right now. The whole experience really changed my life. The feeling being told that I was a failure completely vanished. Learning English became a way of proving myself and to everyone else that I could achieve anything I set my mind to. And also I have lost 40 kilograms at the same time that I was learning English. Yeah, I can say that confidence makes a big difference in a human's life. Just believe in yourself and trust me, you can achieve a lot, way more than you believe that you can. The bad side, I would say, about this experience overall, that the first thing that you would need to have is that it takes time. Also, your grammar will be good because you're not using the language, I would say, for most of the time. So you need to find someone to speak with or something like that. There's a lot of apps that you can use right now to improve your English and talk to other people. Overall, learning English opened up a whole new world for me. Now I can connect with people from all over the world, access a wide range of information and entertainment, and even pursue new opportunities. The most important pro, it boosted my confidence. It gave me a sense of accomplishment. Now, of course, there's problems to this method. It takes a lot of time and effort, and there will be setbacks along the way. But for me, the benefits outweigh the challenges. If you are feeling inspired to learn English, I say go for it. It might not be easy, but it's definitely rewarding. Find a method that works for you and be constant. Don't be afraid. You're going to do mistakes anyway. Thank you. And I hope you enjoy your learning process, and I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you, and bye-bye. Peace out.